Well, good evening, all. Ira Epstein with your financial market wrap-up, and this wrap-up is for Monday, the 4th of March, 2024, 6:15 p.m. Central Time. So today was interesting. The video was up, but the other MAG stocks, as they call the Magnificent Seven, the other six were not. The stock market itself under some pressure most of the day. Where the explosion took place was gold and silver took off to the upside, as did Bitcoin. Big moves in those markets. We didn't do too much at all in the bonds and notes. Over the weekend, we saw that OPEC did announce that they were extending their cuts into June. Many people think to be to the end of the year as they try to balance the market. And instead of rallying, the market actually fell on it. So it was a strange day. You're cutting production and oil falls, yet you're also looking at the gold that has added since Thursday almost $100 an ounce to it, and the silver market's exploded as well, gone up rather dramatically. And this is in the face of the stock market coming down. Now remember what we have. We have this coming week, Fed Chair Powell's in front of Congress for 2 days, the Senate and the House committees. He'll be answering questions on interest rates, health of the economy, what he's seeing. We have the National Party Congress opening their meeting tomorrow. This is where they announce if they're going to have stimulus packages, what type. They set their growth rate generally at this. We'll find out what it is. They're changing things around, and the President Xi is not going to hold a post-big conference where he summarizes everything. That's a difference. And nobody quite knows what to make out of that. Then we have jobs data. This is an important week where we get the U.S. jobs report at the end of the week, ADP, the Challenger Gray. We get the European Central Bank that's widely expected to not do anything at this meeting. We have tomorrow. We've got the Red Book Group. They're going to come out with the retail sales. S&P Global come out with the February service sector PMI. The ISM at 9 comes out with their U.S. service sector, and that's going to be important. Service has been the strength in the economy. Is it starting to weaken or not? Factory orders for January, they're going to come out at 9, and then we get the API oil numbers at 3:30 in the afternoon. So it is, unlike today, a heavy day of information. Now, as we take a look at the stock market, so you're down a quarter point so far. Whoop-de-doo. That's nothing on a closing basis from an all-time high. The pattern is still one where the market has been ratcheting itself up with higher lows and higher highs. It has stayed over the 18-day average. Amazingly, as you approach the 5150 area, many firms are now saying, well, instead of the 5200 level we thought for the year, we're going to 54. Eventually, you chase so much that the market doesn't hit a number. So who knows where that's going to be. And the market has paid attention that each time it's hit those Bollinger Bands, it has backed off. And I think traders have used those back-offs to buy as long as the slow stochastic has stayed in place. You got to close in the red line under 79, and I think the game changes. But until then, I expect to see traders buying the market. In the NASDAQ, we're not quite there. We're in an overbought market. That it too, though, each time it hits that upper band is backed away from it. We're not making it in the Dow to that number. In fact, in the Dow, if you get under this low, you could end up with lower highs, lower lows, and get the first serious break that you've set up in a while. Tomorrow's going to be an important day. In fact, this week's going to be important to that. If it takes that out, I'd be very nervous about the market. The Russell went up today, made the highest high of the move. It too is overbought. It backed off by the end of the day, but it's the chase me market. It's back to these highs that it did over here in that zone and has come up. In the 10-year note, the market is fighting at the 100-day average and the 18 for direction. Overall, you still have the pattern of higher lows, higher highs, and over it. So the bulls have temporary control. But as I said, you got all this information this week. If the market can add to the rally, then the upper Bollinger Band is a potential target. You got thrown back in the 5-year note on the first challenge of that average. So you can see you're right at some important areas here, and the market realizes that. In the dollar, it hasn't changed. You have been fighting for support at the 100-day average, the resistance at the 18-day average. You have the bias down now and the trend up, and you've got support 103.47 to 103.13. It is a difficult market to trade. In fact, I have had for the past 5-6 days the most hard markets in these markets trying to call trades because they're just not there. And if you try to force them, you get yourself into problems. When you look at the euro, you've got a lower low, higher high, and an overbought market. I think you can see you're caught in the sideways action so far right here. The British pound tried a downside, couldn't get there, found its support at the 18-day average and just came roaring back, overbought into the upper Bollinger Band. I'm going to repeat. I don't know that traders that are even good swing traders are doing well in these type of markets. They're just fluctuating like that. Where you're running pretty crazy has been to the upside in the Bitcoin. This is called that gorilla glue trade. It's when a market latches onto a Bollinger Band with an embedded reading. And it just goes up over it, back under it, and it just keeps pushing out to new highs, not giving traders that want in a chance in and not letting the shorts out if they're wrong the market. Remember, in the futures market, for every long, there is a short. So keep that in the back of your mind. When we look at the differential between Brent and WTI, you just came 50 cents roaring bad where you put premium back into the Brent oil. Here's the market looking at, if you can see it, an uptrend where the upper Bollinger Band is now narrowing in, probably taking some volatility for the moment out of the market. In the April, WTI, momentum down, it's the same play. And again, these patterns have worked pretty darn well where they've retained the market. That, by the way, when you hit an upper Bollinger Band, it's not a go short signal. It is a signal to take money off the table. That's the way that I teach it. Other people have their own attitude and their own techniques. When I look at the momentum in gasoline, I think the pros want to get long this market here. So I'm looking at potential buys in that. I want to see how the market works here, but I'm guessing the pros are going to nibble away at the 18-day average of closes, hoping that spring, summer demand's coming into play. We've got some refineries that are down still. In fact, as I just read about one that'll be down for from now through the first 2 weeks of April as they make their switch over to gasoline blends. Natural gas. Okay, so here's your rally. Remember, I was dealing with Chesapeake and the Spider ETF, and the reason I had done it was I figured it was just a matter of when, because prices came down so much, you were going to see the nat gas producers say, we're going to curtail production a bit here. We're coming to the end of winter. We didn't get a cold winter. We had a moderate winter in most of the country. Chicago probably had one of the best winters I can remember. I mean, we had a cold spell of a week to 10 days. That was basically it. And now, again, if you have a snowplow in Chicago, the city, you weren't using it. The suburbs, yes, but not in the city proper. So you put this all together, you can see what you're doing right here. You're in the churn phase, and we finally get a lot of new information that'll probably take us out of it. How do you keep up with us on it? Well, just go to iraepstein.com under our free offers, sign up for the research there, and we'll get you on the mailing list first so you can see what we write about. In the meantime, I'm Ira. You have a good evening. I'll see you tomorrow.